Good afternoon to everyone, especially to Miss Ferlin. Today we are going to present our poem analysis titled Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night.
Hi everyone, so today we're going to talk about the elements of the poem that uses in the poem Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. And before we tackle into the elements of the poem, let me read to you guys the poem. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. True wise men at their end know the dark is right, because their words had forth no lighting day. Do not go gentle into that good night. Good men, the last ray by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieve it on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death who see the blinding sight. Blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height. Curse, bless me now with your fierce tears, I pray. Do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
So the first thing that we are going to tackle about is the form of the poem that will be discussed by Mr. Melorin. So now, let's hang on to our discussion.
A poem of Dylan Thomas consists of 19 lines, 5 tercets, and 1 quatrain. It follows a strict rhyme scheme and features two repeating refrains like "Do not go gently into that good night" and "Rage, rage against the dying of the light." In this poem, it uses alliteration and assonance, emphasizing the intensity of the speaker's appeal, making the lines memorable and forceful. The rhyme scheme adds a musical quality, strengthening the poem's passionate appeal and resistance to death.
So, what are the imagery used in the poem? So, the imagery used in the poem were visual imagery, tactile imagery, and lastly, auditory imagery. So, let's tackle about the visual imagery first. So, the first phrase that is stated on the PPT is the dying of the light. So, the dying of the light refers to the loss of brightness. Dying refers to the darkness or the fading of life. Meanwhile, a light refers to vitality. This visual imagery makes look like death a loss of brightness. So the second visual imagery that is stated in the poem is the sun in the flight. So the sun in the flight refers to the cycle of life or the setting of the sun in the sky. It also refers din po sa fading of the sun in the sky. Sun in the sky refers to the or compares to the human life wherein life is full of brightness but eventually it will end into darkness. So that's the reason why we chose it to be a visual imagery because we every day see a sun fading and we will notice it because when the sun is fading the sky will get dark. So the third visual imagery that were used in the poem is blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Even without a physical sight, we can visualize it that there are meteors in the sky. So after that, let's tackle about the auditory imagery. So the auditory imagery that were used in this phrase or that were used in this poem is the rage against the dying of the light. This line is repeated many times, like people shouting it. The repetition creates a sound or an argument, and a voice filled with anger and defiance. So lastly, let's tackle about the tactile imagery. The tactile imagery that were used in this poem is the phrase burn and rave at the close of day. So the burn and rave at the close of day refers uh, to the thing or the word that we can physically feel or an intense heat in our skin. So basically, it is a word that we can feel. So that's why that is the tactile imagery. While rave refers to uncontrolled movements of the body like shaking or thrashing. That's all for the imagery. And now let's move on to the figurative language that we will be discussed by Miss Serira.
Now let's talk about figurative language. In this poem, it used simile and oxymoron. Why? Because in this poem it uses simile in third stanza. Second line, it says there that blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay, which is the line compares how blind eyes might blaze like meteors. Next, oxymoron. It also uses oxymoron by using the two opposite words, curse and bless. We all know that a curse is a wish for bad fortune, while a bless or blessing is a wish for good fortune. In this poem, it used as contradictory phrase represents the son's emotion towards his father, a desire to both curse and bless him. Now, let's proceed to the speaker of the poem. The speaker of the poem is the son of the dying father. In this poem, the speaker is the son of the dying father. As we can see at the sixth stanza, first line, it says there that, and you, my father, there on the sad height. It makes everything clear that the speaker is the son in this line. This is written for the poet's dying father. The son wants him to fight against the death rather than accepting it.
And the theme of the poem is life and death. The poem speakers offers insight into how to face death with dignity and ferocity rather than resignation, believing that people should have burn and rave after they approach death.
Thanks for watching.